All right, we're back at it again, and we're diving into the minor arcana. So for me, I always see the minor arcana as it's giving us all the little details, okay? And the minor arcana is split up into 4 suits. Each suit represents one of the 4 elements. So you have the suit of fire, which is wands or candles. And the suit of fire is the ultimate spark. It is enthusiasm, creativity, passion. This suit can also be a little impulsive. This is the suit where you're like, things are moving fast, okay? This is not a slow progression. So if you're ever looking for a timing as well, if you have a lot of fire energy coming out, that's letting you know things got to happen quick, okay? So the wands or the candles is making sure that you're taking risks with a good plan, okay? But that's like, you know, like I said, the spark, the creativity, the passion. And then we have in traditional tarot, it's the pentacles or the discs. And in mine, I made it nature because it's the earth element.
Which one is that? Is that like a triangle?
Yeah, go ahead and, split.
Oh, it's like an upside down triangle with a line through it?
Yes. Yep. So split your deck up. So you want to start with this one?
Yes.
Yep. And then this one.
Okay.
And then just make yourself some little piles. So these are basically your 4 elements. You have fire, earth, air, water. So these will be the tops of each of the piles.
The next one's earth, right?
Mm-hmm. So those ones that you're picking up, those are air.
Okay, these are air.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so these
Boom,
have
and then
like
it goes
little
into
plants
water.
and
And
everything.
that last one you picked up, nope, hold on, you're going into water. Hold on.
Okay, no, so this goes with the...
These are wood. So, yep, that's earth.
Okay,
These are air.
okay.
And then, hold on, some of the ones you picked up in this one were water. So this starts the water right there.
Okay,
Yep. So this,
okay, so then
this
that
is
goes
air. Bam. Perfect. Yep, and these are fire.
with... Okay.
Yep.
So with this is like the earth has plants in it,
Yes.
everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what?
So that is material. This is the physical world.
What did it used to be?
Pentacles. Yeah, so in traditional tarot, earth is pentacles. So I made it nature because that made more sense to me, at least.
Okay.
So this is the physical world. This is where you kind of struggle with the feeling of either lack or abundance. And it's also building blocks. You have to work with earth to build your reality.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sitting here holding up fire.
Oh, no, okay, so that is...
talking about
so
earth. I'm so
okay.
sorry.
No, okay. So that one's the lack or, like...
Yeah,
it's
this
okay.
one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So where the earth is the physical, the fire is the spiritual. And then the air, which is feathers or swords, is the mental. These are your thoughts, your ideas, and your communication. So air can be a little over opinionated and they can sometimes get stuck in their own head. So if you are pulling a lot of air energy, this is letting you know that like whoever you're reading, whatever you're reading, there's too much in the head and not enough action. So air it's also how you learn too. A lot of the air stuff is about learning new things.
What did you say it was?
Mental.
No.
Swords.
Swords, yes. So traditionally it's swords. And then the last one, easy peasy, it's cups or potions. So originally it's cups, and then I turned it into potions. And this is water, the water element, and it's your emotions. So it's your emotions and your intuition. So water is also about psychic abilities too. So water, if you pull a lot of water in a reading, people are kind of over-feeling. They're processing a lot of emotional energy. If you pull a lot of water, might also be an empath. So, you know, the elements that show up are kind of letting you know what part of a person's self that they either just naturally have a lot of energy in. So, you know, sometimes I'll pull a lot of fire and then I'll ask somebody, what's your sign? And they're like, I'm a Leo, I'm an Aries, I'm a Sagittarius. Oh, yeah, fire. So that can kind of tell you where somebody is putting too much energy or not enough energy into these elements. Because these elements, you have spirit, the physical body, the mental body, and the emotional body. That's our whole reality. So when one of these things is lacking, yeah, there's going to be a bit of a struggle. Okay? And so these are the elements, right? And how I said before, the way that I read, it is element plus the number equals the message, okay? So we'll use the aces. So aces are 1. So it's almost like in a regular playing card deck. Ace is 1. And it's potential. This is the most potent version of the element. So all ones are the opportunity for something. So for candles, it would be an opportunity to be creative. For earth, it would be an opportunity for either money or stability. For water, it would be the opportunity for love or emotional development, right? For air, it would be the opportunity or potential to communicate or learn something new or change a perspective. So you can see, boom, easy, number plus element equals message, okay? So I'm going to run through what the numbers mean. So then, boom, you'll have what the elements mean and then what the numbers mean. And then we can start jumping into some fun like spreads and readings and different stuff like that.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, like I said, the aces are opportunity. Okay? So pure potential. 2 is duality and choices. So you gotta kind of pick one or the other, do one or the other, or see both sides of something. And you can even see in the cards how that takes effect. You need to assess a situation. You need to see all sides of something, okay? You need to be adaptable. So you have to make a choice on how you're going to move forward and how you're going to grow. You have to make a choice of what connections are good for you and not good for you, right? And then literal just like choice, like thinking pros and cons list. that for this one particular, this is a pros and cons list. Do I want the worm that is kind of instant gratification, or do I want to plant the berries, which will kind of give me a little more long-term success? All right. So then 3s are growth and initial success, not full success. This is just kind of the first time that you're like, okay, something's moving forward. And you can kind of see in these ones, it's like, okay, positive, positive, positive. Oh, 3 of Swords, what the heck? But this is the perspective of how much you've grown with, because in traditional tarot, we were even talking about it, it's the heart with the 3 swords in it. And in mine, it's worries. So what is keeping your mind from seeing the growth, from seeing the potential, from seeing the choices? What are you overthinking about that's keeping you more worried than hopeful? And each one kind of has that where it's like, okay, everything's looking good, and then one card's like, oh, it's kind of garbage. Okay. So, but yeah, so the 3s are about the initial growth. Everything's not perfect, but we're moving forward. We're seeing things clearly. We're team working a little bit. We're celebrating with friends. We're having that emotional connection. And then, we're kind of overthinking about the growth in the next step forwards. And then 4s are structure and foundation. So think about it this way. If each card is a pillar, once you have 4, that's the first base that you can start building off of, right? So 4 is kind of the like, cool, I can actually like see the foundation now. So you can see it. There's the foundation of having a passionate home, money increasing, plans slowly manifesting, some emotional intelligence growing right here. So kind of the foundation of your emotional understanding of yourself. And then finally we calm down a little bit after the 3 of Swords, and we're like, okay, I can breathe now. I found my center. And then, all right, so 5s, we run into a bit of an issue. 5s, in numerology, are all about change. So 5s are about change and conflict. So just like in the major arcana, where it's a lot of ups and downs, so is the minor. Except like the major is like, boom, change your whole life, where the minor's more like, how about we just edit our routine? How about we tweak the plan a little bit? So it's less like intense. So you can see competition, rejection, regrets, just straight up conflict, okay? The struggle bus is here. That's so 5s are kind of like, whoa, I might be freaking out a little bit, but that's okay. So because just like in life, things don't last long, and in the 6, we solve the problem. So 6s are solving the problem solving, and also compassion. Kind of realizing like, I might have been a little too hard on myself or someone else in this situation. And then you can really see that in the, okay, problem solving, I got to look at myself in the mirror. I need to see things for what they are. Look at that, made some growth, made some progress. I still have some things working on themselves, but we're moving. Straight up pleasure, going from regrets to just being like, okay, you know what? It is what it is. I'm going to just be happy about whatever that is good, or make what isn't good, okay? And then learning. So you went from conflict to learning how to communicate. So you can see how each one changes depending on the element. Same number, different energy, okay? Sevens are about wisdom and understanding. And they can also kind of be like how the twos were choices. Sevens are like, now there's a lot of different paths. So 2 was like, okay, I'm at the fork in the road. 7 is like, now I'm just looking at a map and I'm wondering where the heck I'm gonna go. So you can even see it. So the 7, it's understanding your fire and what you stand for. Understanding the wisdom of taking a break and being patient. The understanding that, you know, you need to use your imagination to see the potential and see the possibilities. And then again, it's interesting. You can actually look at a lot of tarot decks, and depending on the artist's interpretation, you can kind of see where they were at with themselves. So out of all of my elements, air is mainly negative. Because I was having a hard time. Because this was like 6-7 years ago. When I was... Actually, this was almost a decade ago where I was all messed up. Okay? So you can see the elemental struggle within myself just through what I've created. And this is why I will always tell people, make your own deck too. It doesn't have to be full on images. You can literally write a word on a note card and shuffle that. Like, you know, you don't have to overcomplicate it. But you'll really be able to see for yourself where you're at when you create something from beginning to end for yourself. But it's understanding, for this one, it's understanding that not everybody's opinion is what's best for you. That one specifically, because it's deception. Are you deceiving yourself, or are you allowing other people to deceive you? Okay? You know what I mean? Gotta cut that out. So the 8s are movement. Movement and attainment. And you can really see there's movement here, you're leaving. You're getting on the boat, you're leaving. This is the conclusion. This one's more attainment. You're working hard. You're manifesting things. You're seeing all the progress. But then, boom, no, you got to walk away from burdens, walk away from emotional struggles, leave a situation. And then again, you kind of see the duality of like, where are you? Are you the bird in the cage where you're putting yourself in a crappy situation? Or are you the bird in the window looking in? You know, so kind of the movement from trapped to free mentally, right? Because it's that air element. All right. 9s are fulfillment and fruition. So you can see, like, you know, things are moving forward. Might be a little burnout with this one, but you're still surviving. Full on harvest. We love that. You're harvesting. Cups overflowing. I always see that's, you know, like I said, you'll start getting messages that you get for each one when you pull this. This is always, your cups are overflowing. Do you see it or not? You know, and then anxiety. Because this is, it's fulfillment, but it's almost like when you reach that level of awareness, sometimes you tend to have more anxiety because you really see it all. You really you're like, okay, I get it. All right. And then 10s. This is completion. Completion and transformation. And you can see how they are all just ending on a very beautiful note. And so in traditional tarot, the 10 of swords or the 10 of feathers is normally a person laying on their back with 10 swords in their back.
Right.
And I was like, that doesn't seem like a good 10, because the other 10s are like people dancing under a rainbow and like having everything they ever desired, and swords are just like so I made mine more, it's wisdom. It's wisdom. It's the filter to see beyond, like, you know, what your ego says and what your spirit says, or what other people think and what you think. So it's the filter of kind of your third eye, if that makes sense. Okay, how do we feel about that? Do we feel like we get the element plus number equals message?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we can kind of like see that playing out in the cards?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can, don't you?
Oh no, it makes a lot. I mean, it's made based on what I knew. It makes it a lot easier to understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, this is the next. Well, I will say this. Okay, now that you've decoded the minor arcana, what suit do you feel like you struggle with the most? Like, which element do you think that you have the hardest time with now that you know what they mean? And then if you were to look at the numbers of that suit, where do you, so it's almost the same question of where do you think you are in the major arcana? Where do you think you are in this suit?
I think for me, I think it's I'm definitely on the all of them. Just kidding.
Everything, the whole thing.
No, I guess it would be more the spiritual and the mental part.
Okay, yeah.
You know, but just because there's just so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm thinking, oh God, I just feel like that one that has lots of choices, 7,
Mm-hmm.
because I have so many choices and so many things to try to fit into everything. And then, yeah.
And then what do you think is keeping you from going from the 7 to the 8? So going from the, you know, kind of overabundance of choices and things to understand into achievement.
What is holding me back? What was your
Basically, like what is keeping you in the 7 energy instead of moving into the 8?
Trying to process all the choices.
Right. Maybe a good, like a brainstorm, like where, you know, you're putting all the choices out there so that you can see which ones really have the most viable options to move forward with.
Yeah.
That might help. All right. This is our last.
How about you?
Yeah. Sorry. Where are you
Oh
at?
no, I was thinking air.
Yeah.
Even though I'm fire, air. No, and I'm going back to. I figure it's time to kind of revisit my roots and start, you know, and kind of continue to build my toolbox.
Mhm.
So I'm looking at, to me, it's potential.
Yeah. Totally. Which is great. You know, you see where things don't work and you're forging a better path for yourself. Okay. So the very last part of a tarot deck is called the Royal Suits or the Royal Family or the Court cards. So the Royal Suits basically represent people. And these can either be different versions of yourself. I believe at one point we embody every single royal court card. Or they can represent other people in your life. So, you know, sometimes I'll pull a card and ask somebody, like, do you have a sister? Or do you have, you know, what's your relationship like with your father? You know what I mean? Because based on the cards that are coming out, you know, it's feeding me the little details of what questions to confirm to move forward with the message. And of course, this is, again, where I divert in my deck. Normally, in a deck, there is the page, the knight, the king, and the queen. So those are normally the 4 suit cards. But I was like, you know what? Another one. Because the pure child energy is very underrepresented in tarot. So I actually added the child. So my royal family is the child, the daughter, the son, the mother, the father. And I look at the children as they're like the aces, basically, the aces of people. They're kids. They're full of potential. They're full of energy. They're full of, that pure elemental power, okay? And in regular tarot, they try to say, like, the pages are the kids. I always view them as more the teenagers. Just the rowdy, directionless teenagers that, So the pages in my deck would be technically the children. And then the knights in my deck would be the son and the daughter. So it's almost like the pure potential, right, are the kids. The teenagers, so the son and the daughter, are like undeveloped energy. So they haven't learned the lessons yet. And then the king and queen -- mother, father are the adults. They're the evolved version of the elements.
So the queen is the mother, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep, the king is the father. The son and the daughter are... There's a lot of... So in a lot of decks, it's either the prince, the princess, the knight. So there's a lot of different, like, energies that people pick from to represent that, like, middle ground between the adults and the kids, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But basically, kids are like aces. So think of the elements again. The child of fire, they're super, super passionate, but sometimes, they haven't found their spark yet. They have it, but they don't know how to use it. So things can kind of be a little dark sometimes. Child of air, they will never shut up. These are the kids that once they start talking, they never stop ever because they have 1,000,001 questions, right? Child of water, they kind of play with your emotions a little bit. They want to push their boundaries. They are emotional, so they need to understand emotions. So you can even see she's making little potions and stuff. And then the child of earth, she's the worker. She's the worker bee. Give me a job, give me a task, give me something to do, especially with my hands. This is going to be the physical child of just like, I want to play in the dirt. I want to build something. I need something to do. They're not up here like the air. I need something to do. Okay. And those are nice because, when I pull those and I ask people, I'm like, do you have a kid in your life? And I describe them and they're just like, yeah. So for the teenagers, they are, so the son and the daughters, they are the kind of feminine and masculine representation. So you can kind of see one's looking forward and one's looking back. One can't see the path ahead because they're too busy looking at it, and one's just straight up running away from the past because they're, you know what I mean? So like you can kind of see how they play off of each other a little bit. They are dealing with the same energy in a different way. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of that's the feminine masculine. The masculine's going to drive forward. The feminine's going to be soft and hold back, right? Whereas for earth, it's, I'm going to sit and be calm. I'm going to power forward, but carry too much with me. So you can kind of see how they're both dealing with the same, like, stress of their element in a different way. For water, she's like, I'm going to look within and learn how to understand my emotions and myself, where like he's maybe a little substance abuse here. I'm going to go experience it all. I'm going to go feel my emotions through other people and through other things, right? And then this one's probably the biggest duality. I'm going to be completely open and vulnerable with myself. I'm too afraid to even send this letter. I'm literally wearing armor because I'm afraid to speak my mind. So you can just see how they're all just two halves of the same coin. So you can kind of see the healer and the warrior, right?
He looks like he's been in a war.
He has. There in the original, well, in yours, there's literally dead bodies in the field. This is the person that burned every bridge they could ever imagine. And now they have to learn how to surrender and fix themselves. You know, when this person comes up, this is the most negative father because they couldn't get over their anger. They couldn't get over their resentment. They couldn't get over, they used their fiery passion in all the wrong ways. Whereas for me, the mom's like, I'm guiding you. This dad's gonna force you. This is like, get it together, or I might beat your ass. Whereas this mother is like, I'll be your guiding light in the darkness, you know. And then you can see, so this mother's nurturing things at home. This is about providing. This mother is providing a home and a house and a safe space, whereas this father's providing the money. And this is very classic, you know, female-male roles. Not saying that they have to be this way. I pull myself as this one a lot because I'm a bad little boss girl. I get it done. I know what I have to offer at the market, you know. Also, there are only 2 cards in my entire deck where people are pregnant, which is the Source and the Mother of Nature. So if I get one or both of them, 9 times out of 10 there is going to be a pregnancy in that person's family within a year. Okay. So, and then another one, you can always see where like the feminine energy is more internal. She's like, yeah, I'm teaching, I'm in a classroom, I'm passing along my emotional intelligence to others. Whereas the father is more kind of like, I'm going out and I'm showing people how emotionally wise I am. I'm a good time. And she's like, I'm a good teacher. This is always the one my mom comes out as because she's like quite literally a teacher. So, and then last you have the person writing the message and the person sending the message. So you can also see he's writing contracts. If this comes up, I get a lot of contract stuff. Like somebody is writing out for like a loan, for some documentation, some sort of like acceptance letter, like somebody is getting ready to communicate with you. Whereas this one is like somebody needs you to be a little more direct with your messages because they're not getting the bird, honey. Yeah, you might just have to go to them, get out of your tower, get out of your head, and just go directly talk to them instead of just trying to send the message that way. So it's kind of like you can see the duality between them. Okay, how do we feel about that?
That feels really good, I think.
Yeah.
I really like it.
I really tried in my deck personally to make things less like subliminal, like how the Rider-Waite kind of did, you know. And that I feel like that's why I never liked it. It's like, I don't get it. I'm a little autistic, so I can't read into your symbology. I also don't feel like studying a whole nother book worth of symbology to understand the deck that's right in front of my face. So I tried to make everything like point blank. So I do have some spreads, some card spreads at the top of my little.
Do you have this a book for this deck?
There's a QR code in the back of the notebook.
Okay.
Which that's what I'm going to come in and switch the books with on the shelf. So you scan the QR code and it takes you to my link tree, and then you can literally download
To a file or something?
Yep. You can either download it or you can order the book off Amazon. Like if you want the physical thing, you can get it off Amazon or you can just download it from my Linktree. And it's the, I only have one tarot deck, so it's the Beyond the Violet Veil, because they're all the same cards. These are just like updated images. So, and it's also good because the book comes with creative journaling and drawing prompts. So either if you really, really like a card, or you're kind of stuck on a card, or in a reading or something like that, you can kind of dive in and do some of the prompts to kind of like help uncover more of your own personal meaning to it. So let's just start with a real simple 3-card for ourselves. We're going to do it just for ourselves, and then we're going to share. And then we'll do it where we kind of give it a good shuffle, especially since we put it all in order so nicely. Now we got to mess it up. And there's a couple different things that you can like use for the 3-card. It can either be past, present, future. If you want to do a relationship, it's you, them, the relationship. Situation, obstacle, solution, body, mind, spirit, path 1, 2, 3. So that might be good for yours because you said there's a lot of the choices that you're trying to make. Accept, embrace, let go. I love how there's just a bajillion ways that you can use a 3-card spread, you know, and just make it real simple.
One of the ones that I use is Strength, Heart, Challenge.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, like the first card is your strength,
Mhm.
and then, you know, what makes your heart happy,
Right.
and then the challenge.
Everybody out there in online world, why don't you go ahead and pull 3 cards for yourself too and share in the comments. Alright, here's my first card. Second card. Third card. Also, I don't read reversals.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
I think
Okay,
a card is a card is a card.
No.
If,
The only time I get a reversal is if I have the card upside down.
right,
Okay, then I'm like, okay, let me fix that.
right, exactly.
That's
exactly.
what I say too.
I don't.
If it's meant to be negative, you would get a negative card. You know?
Yeah. Wow, that was my first choice,
There you go.
whatever that means. Oh, and that one's just, I like that card. Huh.
All right. So again, we can choose which one we're vibing with. Past, present, future. You, them, relationship, and I'm reading it from this way. So 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Yep. Situation, obstacle, solution. Mind, body, spirit. Path 1, 2, 3. Accept, embrace, let go. Mine is definitely giving mind, body, spirit. For sure. For sure.
Okay. What are you doing?
I was doing it career related.
That's
I had to
cool, yeah.
laugh because teamwork popped out and I put it back in and it popped out and it was the
It was
first
like,
one.
no, this
yeah,
one.
yeah, exactly.
It said you will have me.
Yep, yep.
So now what?
What do you think they mean?
You want to go first?
Oh, go ahead, please.
Mine is the wheel is for, I'm going to do the 3 paths.
Okay.
Or the 3 choices.
Yeah. So that would be path 1.
Yeah, it's the wheel. So that means that I need to get rid of some things and take some things in. And is that what I have to go back and look at my notes. I'm so sorry.
No, I was going to say, what does it resonate with you though?
Yeah, just say whatever
Just
you
say
think
it-
it means.
That
Don't think
there's
about it.
so many different ways that you can look at it, I guess.
Mhm.
And the one path,
You got all major arcana,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting because out of like 78 card deck, the likelihood of getting all three major arcanas
Yeah,
are pretty slim.
There's only 23 major arcanas out of
Out of
in this
with
deck.
that-
There's 83 cards, so even
Okay.
even smaller
okay,
of
so
a
my,
chance.
so my first one was the wheel,
Mm-hmm.
and the second one was source,
Mm-hmm.
and the third one was the mother.
Okay, so if you were to think of these as different paths that you were taking, which one looks the best to you? Which one feels the best?
Well, it feels like mostly what I'm doing and what my whole purpose is like with the mother.
Mhm.
Because I just want everybody to have their businesses and do well and let me just hold space for you. That's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, so while you're getting ahead.
Right,
That's my whole purpose.
right,
For real.
right.
So that one feels like it's the best.
But also remember, sometimes the mother can give too much. The mother can sacrifice to the point where she doesn't have enough for herself.
Yeah.
So each one of those paths, it has a positive, but it also has the negative too, and that goes back to the pros and cons list. Because for the wheel, yeah, there you might be stuck in a certain pattern or a certain cycle, but that also could be the wheel turning in your favor. So there could be a little luck on that path. You could find a little luck in that direction because the wheels are turning in your favor. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And then what do you think the source means?
I think that means that I need to be more resourceful to keep the business going.
Mhm.
Like I need to be, maybe I need to do more things for me. I need to teach myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not teach myself, but teach, be an instructor.
Right.
And that way I can, I can be a model
Mhm.
as well,
Right.
and then I can have everything.
I'm almost seeing the source as expanding. The mother is you at the store. The source is you widening the area of effect,
I
if that
gotcha.
makes sense.
It totally does.
So that could either be online, that could either be like how you were talking about the one lady at the one place said that you could use her space if you had bigger classes or something like that.
Yeah.
That might be worth just having something set up there, so it's not only you supporting other businesses that come here, it's you collaborating with other businesses in other places.
I definitely want to do that.
Yeah, like a way to expand so you're not just, look at the view from the mother. Yeah, she's in a beautiful space, but she can't see the whole world from there. And then you look at the source and she gets to see the whole world and the whole universe and everything, So I feel like it's looking at the big picture and then looking at the small picture and how you can kind of,
Make it work.
make it work. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, so that was definitely good.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a major life choice. So it makes sense that it's all major arcana because these are major life decisions.
Yeah, it's 100%. Yeah.
Mhm. All right, what do we got going on down there?
Okay, so I ended up with, I like that, teamwork, earth, and I'm looking at it as, this is where, like, to me, it's my roadmap, like, here I am, and this is where I'm ending up, where
Okay.
I'll end up. That was when I was drawing the cards, that was my intent. So, okay, so it makes sense, with, setting groundwork, working with people to set groundwork.
Yeah.
And so then growth, because I'm working at the new plant in Middletown.
Mhm.
It's not up yet, so we're in the process of setting the groundwork.
Right,
So
right.
you have to teamwork. And then the potential of us setting the And then and then I ended up with Father of Feathers, ironically mental, and that to me signifies it's going to be, you know, a good roadmap.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Especially because with the One of Cups being in the middle, that means you love what you do. You are emotionally dedicated to this thing. It doesn't just serve you financially with the teamwork and the job. It doesn't just serve you mentally with, like, you know, things working out. They might be stressful, but, like, you know, but they serve you emotionally. You feel needed, you feel seen, you feel heard. Like, it's a good place for you. So it's just the process of getting from building to actually, like, structuring, if that makes sense.
No, and right now that's what we're in the process of doing.
Right.
Is you know, like, I'm the one asking. It gives my supervisor time to look at the big picture and work on that, where I can get into the weeds
Right.
and start laying groundwork.
And you
Yes.
like that.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love it.
It's
The
detail
people I
work.
work with, yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm the one who's going, hey, what about this? Huh, that's really a good question.
Right.
and like, not that my supervisor hadn't asked that like months ago, but now it's getting more critical, so I can stay on top of it.
Okay. Love.
And you're also being able to set things the way you want to.
Right.
On
Yeah,
some of that.
yeah.
You know,
Right.
like creating your own structure.
And
And
with
creating your own processes.
And with the Father of Feathers, like, you're the one who sets the record straight, too.
Well,
Like,
especially being like the accountant
right.
on site.
Yeah. You're the one who's like, this is not working this way. We need to reevaluate.
And that also that aggressive, or not aggressive, but assertive, masculine energy.
Yeah, because you got the proof. You got the proof right there. Like,
Well, no,
I'm looking.
I have to laugh because I went ahead and with you know, my supervisor was like, hey, why don't you go ahead and follow up on this? And because of me following up on it, it turned out that like we had received a bill from the town of Middletown that was significantly incorrect. And so then when they're like, oh yeah, like, my bad, let's reval, you know, and they redid it, and it was like, damn, look how much money we, you know, yeah.
Right,
yeah,
right,
I mean,
Was
we're
that in
significant.
your accomplishments?
Well, no, I had to
Right.
laugh because I was talking to my supervisor about it, and I was like, hey, because so and so ended up getting involved. It had to do with energy rates and stuff, and my supervisor's like pretty much like, yeah, but it was because you asking the right questions.
Right.
Because I was like, hey, what's our rate? And they're like, hey, this is what it is. And so somebody was able to take that, run with it, and go, this, and use, ironically, Chat GPT going, and they're like, no, this absolutely makes no sense at all.
Right.
There has to be a missing part of it. And
Right.
then when they ended up going back to the township, they're like, oh yeah, no, sorry. And they were very, very, I mean, within like the same day they corrected it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So, I mean, so that's where I'm like, ooh, makes me feel a lot better. Because
Right.
because being female, you end up with sometimes, you know, like when you rattle cages, you know, you got that type of thing.
Just being a bitch and then
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And I'm fortunate where I'm not getting that pushback.
Right. Love.
Yeah.
So how do you guys feel about that? How's it?
I feel
And I have to laugh, like I said, because this one was like, no.
I'm
I know.
coming out,
Yeah,
whether
exactly.
you like it or not.
Exactly.
And they'll do that to you. I have, you know, I am definitely guilty of throwing a card back into the deck and being like, I don't want to focus on that right now. And it's like, yeah, no, right now. Right, and it'll come out 2, 3. I mean, sometimes it's persistent. I've had years where I pull the same card almost every single time that I read for myself, and I'm like, okay, I get it.
And I will admit that this is like one of the first reads I've done for myself in a long time where I feel comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Versus other ones where you're like, am I reading too much into it?
Right.
Am I overanalyzing?
Right.
Or did I put my energy
Yes,
in it? Did I really
yes.
like pull of it?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
that kind of a thing.
I always hear a lot of people say that they don't like reading themselves because they tend to be either too biased or like they won't see what the cards are really trying to say because they're kind of putting their own desires like what they want them to say
Like being
into
human,
it.
almost.
Yeah, and well, one, that's why I love just getting unbiased. You know, people who don't know me, you don't know nothing about me. You know, give me a reading, and then, but also, like, I think it really speaks on making sure you have your own ego out of the way when you do your own readings too, of just like, look, if you, and you know, when you're in tune with that spiritual side, ego's gonna say, oh, well, this is telling me that things look really good, and then spirit comes in and is like, no, it's not. Do you remember what these cards mean? Because that's not what it's saying. So good, awesome. Let's try one where you guys read each other. You ready?
Okay.
You ready for that?
Yeah.
So before you pull any cards for each other, think of a question. Think of a question, and we'll just go one at a time. So decide who's the first sacrifice. Think of a question that you're going to ask. And let's do... Doing one card sometimes doesn't give you enough information, so let's do another 3. And we'll just keep it real simple and do another 3.
Okay.
So challenge yourself and go read somebody that you don't know. Like I started the whole beginning of my career at bars doing readings for beer. So go read a stranger and see what happens. Thanks for coming.